this Mark's Reviews and Tutorials video. We have a look at the door stoppers here today. Firstly, how they work. If you have a look and we open that door, you'll see that lift up. See the little rubber on the side there as you watch it as the door comes in. See, it presses that weather strip down so that it seals. That's actually not closing as far as it should, but the way this is supposed to be is that that little thing there presses that down, so it seals. So if you're working on your door strip, one of the first things to do is make sure that alignment is right. So you can adjust the door. You see the play in it here. You can adjust the door here by moving this in, which will hold the door in tighter. You can also adjust that here by moving the screw in, or if you want to leave the door loose where it is, you can simply move that rubber stopper there in closer, so that it will then, you see that one's not really deflecting down, and that's how you stop the drafts from getting in underneath. If it's pressing down like that, it'll stop the drafts from coming in. The other thing that happens with these though is they start to fall off, and I'll show you how to fix that over here. I've got this weather strip off because I was just painting it, but it had started to fall off. You can see there's a little bit of a bend. It got kicked and carried on, but what had happened, here's the screws that it was screwed in with. Now this had played up before at this end here, and what happened, I replaced these screws, the ones that it got supplied with these guys. Obviously they are much bigger screws, comparison size by my finger, and that tied this on when it came off, but then eventually the other end popped off and started to go all funny. So now when I put this back on again, so see, we pulled it off to paint it, I'm going to give those little screws the flick all together and just put big screws in. So if you have a look at this, we'll roll it over. Underneath, there's all of these mounting points. So the other thing, if you had a screw in and out and it's come loose, you can move where the actual screw is to another one of these holes, or you can even drill more holes if you want along here. See, that one's pretty pulled out, so you may not want to use this. There's lots of flexibility of what you can do. This door, you can see here where before we painted it, I just gave it a quick hit up with the sander. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 screws in it. So if we want, we can beef that up by adding screws as well, but 4 should actually be enough. So I'm going to screw that back in using the existing holes. Same deal over here. It's got the little rubber skirt to hold it down. This one's an external door. The other one over there is internal, so it's just about keeping the drafts out. So we'll screw it on, and actually what you do with these, you put the screws in to start with. I'll put them in and show you, and you don't do them up tight, and then you just slot this down over the top of the screws that are loose, get it all in position, and then tighten it up. I'll show you how to do it now. I just press that into place with my fingers, and then we'll put the drill in there and do it up to about there, and then you see that's going to be able to slide over the top, and we know we'll be able to line it up because I'm going into existing holes. This little gap here is so that it doesn't hit the door frame over here when it closes. So I'll do that with all 4 screws, and then we'll stick them on them all in. You see where the 4 screws are. There's 2 down this end, and there's 1 in the middle pretty much, and then only 1 up that end. So once I've got it all in and screwed up and tight, I'm actually going to put another screw in up that end. And in order to, you can't do it now and try and line it up. So I'm just going to put them all in that little bit, sit this in on top, do them all tight, and I'm going to simply put an extra screw through about there to make sure it's nice and tight and doesn't come off again. It's all on with those 4 back where it was. You see here all the screws. So now it's really easy to line up this last one. I can either go there or there, whatever I choose, and just poke it in and then do it up, and that'll make it even the tighter. I can do this last screw with one hand. Just hold that up out of the way, and then pick our slot. There goes the drill. Poke it in up there on the door. Doors always have a bit of a frame on them, so they're nice and solid here in the base. If I can get that to press, there you go, it'll sit long enough for me to start the drill, and then we can just drive it straight in. go, on, tight. The test, of course, is putting down to start with. And then the test, of course, is it'll come under that foot there. The spring can get out of alignment. There we go. Now it'll sit down. As long as it goes under that, there, when it first closes. No, see, it's gone over. So if that happens, there's nothing actually to be changed. You just need to flex it down. There we go. Flex it down like that. And then when it closes, it pulls down, and you can see it's working because it's coming down here and stopping all the drafts. There you go, she's on. So bigger screws is a big thing with these because the screws are never big enough that they supply. Probably only saving like 1 cent per strip, so it's pretty crazy. But bigger screws and more screws, you can always reattach them if they're falling off. And straighten them up. If the screws have just come super loose, when you screw them in, they don't ever go tight, just go for a bigger screw. You could also, if you don't have bigger screws, you can put some glue into the hole and then screw it in so it holds in place. Is another way to fill it up. But there you go, that's how to adjust your weather strip.